Alright, what's up everybody? It's your boy Trey Maximus. Today I'll be teaching you guys the easiest front flip to do and the easiest back flip to do. Now, before I get in a little bit more into this tutorial, the reason why is that you probably aren't thinking that these two are really like flips, but and the reason why these don't really look like flips is because they're the easiest ones to do. Alright, and not a whole lot of people can actually do these, but these flips actually work into the other moves, and I'll explain that a little bit more after I explain the flipped. But yeah, these moves are also really easy to do because, they're the very first flips you guys should ever learn. So if you guys are kind of like me, you've been doing flips on a trampoline for so long now, and you guys actually want to do some flips on the ground, but really never had really like the courage to do it, or never had like anywhere where you could train to do it. Well, these are the flips that you guys can do for a little bit, and then when you guys actually learn these flips, then you guys can work into doing like actual other flips, like an actual front flip or an actual back flip. But these are the very first flips that I recommend you guys should ever learn before you ever do anything. You guys don't have to really learn these, but I definitely highly recommend it because it helped me. Because you guys see me, I've done a side flip on the ground, and I've also done a front flip on the ground. Well, it's because I learned these first, and this actually helped me so much in doing those flips. So, yeah guys, let's get right into this. So the very first flip I'm going to introduce you to is a front flip. So if you guys don't want to really learn the very first front flip, you want to go right to a back flip, you can skip a little bit into the video, but if you want to learn the front flip, then just keep watching. Alright, so, back up a little bit here. Very first front flip I ever recommend you guys ever learn is a cartwheel. Now you're probably thinking a cartwheel isn't a flip. Well, yeah it is. Really anything going head over heels is a flip. Alright. And you can think, well, maybe doing a forward roll is a front flip. Well, technically not, but it's just a front roll. It's a somersault, kind of like, I guess maybe a somersault could be considered a flip though, but it's not much of one really. Besides, I'm also not really too sure what a front roll will really help you, except for maybe doing a front flip maybe on the ground, and you can just say, oh, I done a front flip on the ground. Well, anyway, besides front roll, that's not what we're here to learn. We're here to learn a cartwheel, alright? So cartwheel, pretty simple. That's why I'm standing all the way to the edge here. So a cartwheel, it's pretty simple. This is what it is. I'm gonna explain a little bit. I'm gonna explain the flip and then I'm gonna do it. There's also a wasp over there. I hope I don't get stung while I'm doing this tutorial. Alright, so a cartwheel, you guys probably seen a cartwheel multiple times. It's not really too hard. It's just, it's just like doing this here and then going and then just like doing a full, like, I don't even know how to explain it. You just basically do kind of like a whole wheel motion. I'm going to stand a little bit more over here. So doing a cartwheel, this is a cartwheel. So it's kind of hard to do it on how this camera angle, but you guys probably should know how to do one. The very first thing you do when doing a cartwheel though is, you just stand like this here. You have one foot out. Alright, you have one foot out and you have basically almost kind of like a straight line or like a really curved line going like from your hand all the way down, and then you just like bend and you go down. Alright, so you're here and you just put one foot out, one foot behind, and then they just go into this motion here. Then this back leg kind of like turns around. So you basically kind of go like this here, you're just like this here, and then you go, this foot touches, and then this foot touches, and that's how it's like. So, yeah, you're just here, and then you just turn down, you just go to the ground like this here, just go down, and you flip. So, yeah, cartwheel, it's pretty, like I said, it's a pretty basic move. There's really not much to it. You just gotta make sure you keep your legs straight too. You really can't bend them that much when you're doing this, because it doesn't really look very professional. But yeah, cartwheels, it's really just a basic move. You just flip. So I'm sorry the way I'm flipping with this camera, but that's really the only way I can really do it. So yeah, cartwheel, you can go whatever way you prefer. You can go like this way, or you can go the other way. However you really want to do it. So yeah, that's basically it for a cartwheel. You just do a cartwheel. You just go like this, put your hands to the ground. So you can work on doing this first, like going like this here to like practice for the cartwheel. Just going like this here, going down, you know, so just place your hands up, or you can like place them to the ground and kind of like do that maybe, whatever kind of like really helps you. I mean, if you guys, like my opinion, I just went for the cartwheel. I didn't really like train for it. I'm just like, all right, I gotta do this cartwheel, and I just did this here. I'm like, ugh. And I did it. So yeah, that guys, that's the cartwheel. And also, yeah, the cartwheel, it might be like a really lame move, but like I said, that's the very first front flip you guys should ever learn, and you can actually do some really cool stuff actually with the cartwheel when you start landing it. You know, you can actually like also like run into a cartwheel and do it, so it's really just really cool. But probably another thing I can explain is like when you learn a cartwheel, you should also probably learn the round off, which it also kind of like round off's kind of like a little bit helpful with the back handspring. So I'll show you a round off real quick, because round off is actually one of my favorite moves to do. This is a round off. So yeah, cartwheel and a round off, you can actually combine them into the same move, which is actually pretty cool. And at the end of this video, I'll show you doing both of those moves at the same time, which actually kind of looks pretty cool. Alright, so now that you guys learned the cartwheel, now let's learn the very first backflip you should ever do. This is probably like one of the worst days to actually film this tutorial, but yet I'm doing it. Alright, so the very first backflip you should ever learn is there's two ways to either call it, the Valdez or the Makaku. The Makaku. Alright, so this flip is this flip is also, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to get used to. You just gotta really like kind of like go for it. So what this is here, I'm gonna do it from a side angle, so it'll probably help you. All right. So what you do is you go in this kind of position here, like this here, and you gotta decide which shoulder you feel most comfortable going backwards. Going over your left shoulder like this way, or going over your right shoulder going like this way. Alright, for me, I'm actually more comfortable going over my left side, but how the way I have to do this flip, but the way I'm doing this flip is, I actually go over my right, so I'm going to teach you guys the right. If you guys actually go the left, just reverse whatever I tell you, alright? So, for this here, so for doing this here, you get in this kind of position here, and you put whatever hand, you put your hand down, alright, and you don't want to face it toward you like this here. You want to face it a little bit more outward. Kind of like, so for this here, I'm placing it, my palm is like going into my leg, so my hand is like this here. Alright, so don't place it inward, and don't place it like to the side really, because you could really damage your wrist. So you want to turn your hand away from you. So your fingertips are like away from you, and that's how you're going to get like the most boost in doing this, alright? So you're in this position here, and you put your hand down, and what you're going to do is you're going to jump, alright? And you're going to go over that shoulder as much as you possibly can. So this is what a Makaku or Valdez, whatever you guys call it. I've done this tutorial before, but really it wasn't really that much of a tutorial. Alright, so yeah, you put your hand down, and you're gonna lead with your arm in your head, and you're just gonna go back. It's like a back handspring, except you're using one hand and you're going over to the side instead of straight back. And this really helps with learning a back handspring, or even a backflip, really. Alright, so you put your hand down, and you're gonna lead with your legs, your head in your arm, and you're just gonna make you go. You're not going straight back, not yet. You're more going to like the side. So like I'm starting like this right here, and when I do this, I'm gonna be facing that way. So I'll go ahead and show you what I more call it the Valdez than I do a Makaku, but whatever you want to call it, it's really the same move. Alright, so putting your hand down and going over, this is like a monkey flip, basically is what it is like, it's basically like called a monkey flip, but it's a back flip. Alright, so putting your hand down, and you lead with your arm in your head, and that's how you get the most momentum and going backwards. And you can also do this like whether like going like this here, or you can even stand up and do this, like going a little bit down and going over. But this is it here, right here. Let me scoot up a little bit for this. But this is the Valdez / Makaku. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to do, but that's what it is. All right, but you know, you just really got to get that boost. All right, so leading with your arm, your head, and your legs. You want to jump a lot. You want to jump like as hard as you possibly can. Just go backwards, and you're probably starting out like this is probably like the best way to start out, like going like this, placing your head down, and kind of like walking to the side. It kind of gives you like the idea of the move, but then you want to start jumping harder. Yeah, you want to start jumping a lot harder and a lot more effectively, and placing that hand down, and don't ever bend it. Make sure it's straight, or maybe just slightly bent. You do not want to bend your... When you're doing this here, you never want to bend your arm, because you can probably, like, when you're going over this and you're bending it like this here, your hand can kind of like buck or anything, and you can land on your face. So you want to make sure your hand is flat, straight, and solid on the ground, so you can really get that flip going. So I'll show you guys again. I don't like this concrete really. All right, so you're leading and you just go back. All right, you don't want to have your hand too close to you or too far away from you. You want it like middle. That's like the hardest thing that people actually have. Like they keep it like a little bit too close to them. Like it's like right behind you, right behind your butt. All right, right behind here, or there's like this right here, straight line to it. And you just want to go straight, and you just want to go kind of the side, and you can actually work your way into going actually just straight back too. Once you get good at going to the side, just keep practicing, and just go for it. All right, arm. All right, and you lead with your arm too. You lead with your arm and your head, and you go side back. All right. So one more time, going back. Oh. All right, it's really weird starting out, but eventually after you keep practicing, so eventually you'll be able to clean it up and make it look good. That mine kind of looks bad. I really haven't practiced this in a little bit, but you know. So yeah, guys, that's the one piece of advice. That's basically the very first front flip and the very first back flip you should ever learn. Now the cartwheel. Got a zit on my head. I'm like Rudolph on my forehead. Anyway, guys, this is the cartwheel. I'm trying to place my phone. So for the cartwheel, it really helps you for learning the side flip, the aerial, the front flip, really anything, a front handspring. So that's why I highly recommend you ever learn the cartwheel, very first flip you ever learned. And then doing the Makaku, it really helps you for actually learning the back handspring, a back flip, a cheat gainer, really anything. So that's why, I highly recommend you learn these moves, because these, like I said, guys, these moves are very effective in doing whatever. And once you get really good at these moves, then you can actually like make, and you can also get really creative when you do these moves too. I've seen someone do a Valdez into a worm. It looks pretty cool. And then I've also seen someone do like a round off into a backflip. A round off is basically just a cartwheel. You just do a cartwheel and then you kind of like fold into the other side, which is kind of like an advanced move, which is kind of like a setup and doing a what was I going to say? It's kind of like a setup into a back handspring, yeah. But then, you also see people do like round offs to back flips, which gets you twice as much height on your back flip. So like I said, guys, I was going to show you guys really quick a cartwheel to a round off. So I'm not too really sure where to set you guys up at so you guys can get this whole picture. So I'm going to set you guys up over here. This is just my thought. I don't know if this is going to work. I'll try it like this. And also, guys, for the cartwheel, one more thing I'm going to show you guys for doing the cartwheel too. You also go both ways when you're doing the cartwheel. I'll show you that as well. Doing it forwards. And also doing it the other way. You can go backwards doing it too. And it really kind of depends on what you guys prefer. Like if you're doing it like this here, you just want to go the other way, you know, you can do it like this here. So, you know, this is gonna be awkward for me, but this is kind of like the way to do it too. It's like this here. Yeah, I'm not gonna try it. But yeah, guys, you can go one with the cartwheel, or you can go the other. It's kind of. However, though, whenever you're first landing it, though, I don't recommend really going the other way with it because it might be really hard. But you know, it is what it is, kind of thing. But yeah, guys, that's all I'm gonna say for this tutorial. This is the easiest front flip and the easiest back flip to really learn. And you guys don't really have to start on the ground, but these are also probably the most safest flips to do on the ground too. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna end this tutorial off here, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for my next video. I'm sorry I haven't posted that much because I've been busy doing a lot of other stuff right now. So I will see you guys next time. Peace.